So top five. So we're doing our 2021 movies, and we're going to start off doing our top five best, favorite, however you want to label it, but our personal top five movies of 2021.
I'm scared that you guys are gonna say something I forgot about, and it's gonna piss me off, and I'm gonna flip my camera.
It might happen because last year I didn't count Hamilton. I totally forgot Hamilton.
And that I think that shocked the shit out of me because I was waiting for you to say Hamilton. I'm like, oh wow, not at all.
So we'll see how this goes. So who wants to kick it off?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Because I think on my top five, I'm the only person this year that probably put on their top five favorite movies. So
also, how do you want to do this? Do you want to just say your movie, or do you want to give clues to get us to figure it out?
Let's do the hints. Bring the hints back, man.
Okay.
Hints? Oh fuck. Then
wait. What did you say before that, Josh? You said that you're the only one with this movie on your list.
I'm probably gonna be the only one. I mean, like majority of people didn't like this movie, and they have their reasons why. But out of all the movies I've seen, honorable mention. Suicide Squad was originally my second favorite film, but each film I saw after that, it kept on getting pushed to number 3.
It pushed out.
Yeah.
So FYI, these are my honorable mentions. That's why I put them behind me.
Oh, nice. I forgot Black Widow came out this year.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, Josh,
I did too.
I think your number 5 is going to be my honorable mention because I have 2 honorable mentions.
I don't think so, man.
I think so.
I'm so curious.
Let me give you a hint. I'm gonna give you how many? Like, should we just one hint or do we
3?
Do one hint, whatever you think will be enough for us to get it.
Okay. It's the lowest rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It's the only Marvel film with the lowest rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Marvel?
I mean, not only, but it's the lowest score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is it Shang-Chi?
No.
Shang-Chi. What other Marvel movies came out this year?
You said a Marvel movie with a low ranking?
Yeah, a Marvel movie with a even lower than Thor: The Dark World, which I hate.
So, but I know you wouldn't put Venom on there.
No, MCU. Sorry, MCU film.
Eternals?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I was thinking Marvel. I was like Black Widow, Spider-Man. When you said MCU, I don't know how I knew Eternals.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know if I can give you 3 hints because there's a few people on there, but if you haven't seen it or really didn't forget about it, I don't think you guys, you know what I mean, like would have got it. I'd be like, oh, cast of Game of Thrones, and y'all be like, well, we don't fucking know the movie, so
there's a bunch of people from Game of Thrones in it.
There's like 2 people from Game of Thrones, like 2 main people from Game of Thrones that are in it. It definitely has there's a lot of things wrong about the movie, which like everybody said it could have benefited more if it was like a show on Disney Plus, because there's so many characters, and I thought they were interesting that I would like to know more about them. But the movie's only like 2.5 hours, and there's like 10 main characters. They have to try to squeeze them all in once.
So they should have did like the Justice League, like give you the director's cut to explain each character. You feel like they kind of rushed it?
Yeah, kind of. Well, yeah, I mean, Justice League, at least we're familiar with these characters. Well, then shoot, Eternals is pretty much Justice League, because you got the one girl that's fast, one person that's like Superman, but they're different people. They're going through, they're like, what, I forgot how old they are, but they've been here since almost the beginning of time, and they've dealt with each era.
Because they're eternal.
Yeah. So, but I think the main highlight of the movie was just the actors and characters. Haha, very funny. Sorry, I'm just trying to move along here while I like it.
I haven't seen it, and I really didn't have a desire to see it, which is, I mean, obviously why it wouldn't be on my list, but I don't know. Lamar, have you seen it?
I haven't got to see it yet. I do want to see it, but it's not like at the top of the, I need to see it. It's not like that I need to see it, but I do want to see it.
Take your time.
Oh, damn.
Take your time, yeah. Like I said, it's my personal favorite, but it's not one. Like when people say they didn't like it, I know why they didn't like it.
But you know what's funny? Anybody I've talked to, because I talked to Dominique about it, and she was like, I want you to see it first before I tell you what I think about it. So nobody's really said anything bad about it. I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about it personally. But she said they got the lowest rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah, Rotten Tomatoes. Like as far as like the tomato score, I got like a 43%. Yeah, And there's different reasons. They're just like, oh, there's a gay couple that kiss. That's the reason why people don't like it. Or
People still do that?
yeah. I mean, I was like, okay, maybe there are some people, but no, that's not there's a lot of other issues in this movie that I can see why people don't like it.
Mhm.
Where they're saying like, if it benefits it would have benefited more off of being on a Disney Plus show. That means they were interested in the characters, but the movie didn't have time to have character development.
Right.
So when they say that, it's like, hey, maybe they would be more interested if it was on the show. Because it's like there's 10 characters nobody knows nothing about. We all know Spider-Man, X-Men, like we all know we're more familiar with the Justice League than Eternals, because I didn't know anything about Eternals going in.
Okay, so do you think it would have got more love if Marvel wasn't attached to it, if it was a standalone?
Nah. Like to me, if it wasn't an MCU film, it probably would have gotten shit on more. Because if you're an MCU fan, I'm not a fan, MCU movie, you're gonna make your money no matter what.
So MCU actually helped it because it
and that's what MCU is doing. It's like, okay, we got all these people that like Iron Man, Captain America, they're more familiar with them than they are Guardians. So it seems like they're bringing in comics that nobody really knows about, like Guardians or what's it called, Eternals. Even Doctor Strange and Black Panther, I didn't really know until I played the game. But it's not like a lot of people knew who they were compared to like Spider-Man or Batman, even Blade.
What about Ant-Man?
Ant-Man was another one that nobody really knew about. Like they were smart. They were just like, hey, we don't got Spider-Man and X-Men. Let's get Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, and then form the Avengers. And those movies were doing well. Yeah, it's like, okay, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange.
So it sounds like if maybe they just took like maybe one or two characters and kind of made a movie, it'd have been appreciated. But it sounds like they piled hella characters in one movie.
Yeah.
Like too many. Maybe it was overwhelming. Maybe that's why everybody was like, "Oh, fuck this."
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's so many other reasons why people probably didn't like this movie, but I say it was a lot more mature than the other films I've seen. So that was a bonus. That wasn't like that was my only focus. I did appreciate them trying to do more stuff. Like the girl that did what's it called, Nomadland, did this one.
Right.
So, and the jokes were actually, a lot of them were funny. And I did like a lot of dialogue and be like, hey, I want to know this person's story. Like, what's his name? Paperboy from, I keep on forgetting his name. Paperboy from Atlanta.
I know who you're talking about when you say it.
Yeah. I can't forget his name, but.
Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah, Brian Henry.
Something like that.
Yeah. He barely gets any screen time, but I was interested in like what he had to go through all these years. As far as being a black man and a gay man living in the world where, throughout history has been fucked,
So was he the gay character people were mad about?
Yeah, he was.
He was gay, and on top of that, he was black. So people were like,
double threat. Yeah.
Double whammy. That was a double whammy.
Yeah. And it's like
can't be black and gay in a superhero movie.
Now you crossing the goddamn line.
Marvel's like 2 birds, 1 stone. We're gonna show them that we're progressing.
Right.
Okay,
well, what do you want to say to close out that, because we've been on your number 5 for hella long, and
I mean, I'll say, it's worth, if it's on Disney Plus, it's worth checking out and have your own opinion. It's definitely one that I can't say if anybody would like it, or it's hard to recommend to certain people because I like character moments. I think there was a cool couple character moments that stood out to me and why that was my number 5. And action was cool too. So yeah, it's just
and that kicked Suicide Squad to an honorable mention for you.
Yeah, because like Suicide Squad was a lot of fun.
That was crazy.
It was fun, but like, yeah, compared to like, to me, Eternals seemed more like a film that was trying to talk about, what's it called, human. Shit, I forgot what it was, but there was something about Eternals that felt more like a film than Suicide Squad did.
Yeah.
Like I said, Suicide Squad was a lot of fun, but it's still just a ridiculous comic film, which it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was trying to be. So yeah. So all right,
Lamar, you want to go next?
Yeah. So my number 5 is.
That's the clue.
Are you telling us to be quiet?
Is that a monster?
Yeah. You telling us to be quiet?
I'm telling you to shut up because the monster's gonna take me out of the camera.
In this place,
so
we need to be quiet too.
So my yeah.
How many
so my
times? Yeah,
number
how many
five
times? We have to be quiet.
my, my number 5 was bouncing around because I had A Quiet Place in there. I know how everybody feels about Candyman, but I loved it, so I was gonna put Candyman in there, or I was gonna put Justice League. So it was between those three.
Oh wow.
I was bouncing back and forth, like it was hard to do. I thought that the Matrix was gonna fill that space, but fuck no. Fuck.
You know what?
Fuck no.
Matrix actually was battling Halloween Kills.
For the worst.
Really?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Was that bad?
So
I mean,
okay, I don't want to make my number 5 about the
yeah. Maybe that's a conversation for another time, but
So Lamar, so the other 3 films you said, those are your honorable mentions: Candyman
and Justice League.
Justice League. I thought you said another one.
No, just those.
No, I was saying, I think you said your number 5. You were like trying to figure out which one out of the 3 movies.
Yeah,
which one
it was
your
bouncing out of those 3. So
Okay.
A Quiet Place won me over. And you know what's funny? It's only because of the beginning scene. It's only that beginning, that shit was so. If they just chopped that and put that on YouTube, I would have been sold. Just
The short film.
beginning. Yeah, like I really like that shit. I'll watch it again just for that. Then I don't gotta watch the rest. I'll turn it off. That shit was dope to me.
Okay.
So yeah, that's number 5. I mean, we could talk about the movie. What's the difference between part 2 and part 1 with the movie itself?
Yeah, and then it takes place after, like you get that piece to show you what happened before, but then it's like a continuation from the first one. So
yeah, but just that whole beginning part is, I fucking love that shit. Yeah. If you guys are watching us, if you're one of our 12 viewers that we get every time we put this out, make make the before movie. We'll watch that too.
Yeah, I won't be mad if they don't do it, but if they do it, then I mean, I'm
with it.
Out.
Yeah. Make a part 3, and then they'll do the prequel to end it.
Yeah.
It seems like they're doing prequels. They're doing prequels and sequels to prequels.
Yeah.
I think Kingsman's gonna have a sequel to its prequel.
And I'm mad I didn't get to see Kingsman yet. So that might have been in there. I haven't got to see it yet. Well, Josh, you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay,
I was trying to watch
a
lot of movies to see if they would make my top 5, and not even honorable mention. Like
that's what I was about to say, because it didn't even make your honorable mention. So maybe.
No, I mean that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just there's a certain movies I like. Okay, what's up again?
I said it's not bad. It's not good enough. It's like that Halle Berry, that Michael Jackson movie. Both of those movies were good, but they didn't even make my honorable mention because it's just a good movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And for me, I felt like there was a lot of movies this year that were just that. Like they were good, they were enjoyable, but that's about it. So
that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my number 5, my clue is, this is so easy. Black Western.
Oh, nice. Harder They Fall.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. This is gonna be hard, like coming up with clues on the spot, because it's been so long since I've seen that movie too. Like I was trying to think of a quote or something from it, but I couldn't think of it. But that movie was a lot of fun. Like it was it had the humor, it had the action, everything in it. So it was a really fun watch.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Both of you guys got to see the Leo movie, right?
Mm-hmm. I did.
I did a bit. Damn Instagram kept on fucking interrupting me trying to watch the movie because I was like, oh, what's doing the Batman trailer?
It was Instagram that was interrupting.
Yeah, it's Instagram. I gotta turn that motherfucker off, but for some reason it doesn't want to shut off. So.
It keeps showing up in your hand. Huh?
Notifications that I would hallucinate were there.
So yeah, The Harder They Fall is my number 5.
Nice. And you can't argue it.
Yeah. Well, Josh might, but
no, I wouldn't argue. Like I told you, like my number 5 is something that a lot, like when I say that, like I go on YouTube and a lot of people are just talking mess about it. Now, as far as the people that I know, I don't really talk to too many people, but I have a feeling that my friends wouldn't like it either. I mean, some of them don't even like Marvel films, so
Mhm.
They
Oh,
were,
you talking about Eternals? I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about Harder They Fall.
no. I'm talking me personally, Eternals. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that could debate why they don't like it, but I tell them why I don't like it. Now that's cheating because I'm saying me personally likes it, so I can find reasons why I don't like it. But I could also find out reasons why other people don't like it because acknowledging the issues in the film. But some people don't want to do that because I guess they think they're less of a fan if they realize the flaws in their films.
Who are you talking about? You're talking about somebody out there that pissed you off.
Yeah, real. I was telling other people, I was like, I'm trying to be nice, trying to be understandable. Now I'm just gonna be like, I like this movie. Fuck it.
Hey, I've been there.
No more Mr. Nice Critic. All right.
All right. Well, Josh, what's your number 4?
All right. So number 4. Here's my hints. Okay, ready? Coliseum, Coach, tennis. Those are 3. I'm giving you 3 clues.
Okay.
Oh, Richard, King Richard.
King Arthur.
King Arthur.
Maybe back in 2004, that would have been my top 5. The one with Clive Owen.
Okay, so King Richard. I thought it was a good movie, but there was something that was throwing me off, and I didn't know what it was. And normally, I don't listen to podcasts and agree with people's opinions too much, but this one woman said it was too safe. And when she said that, I understood that.
Okay, yeah. Okay, maybe not for me. For King Richard, yeah, I get it, but I don't think it was safer. I think Selma to me was safe.
Which one?
Selma.
You think Selma was safe?
I think Selma was safe. And we're talking about compared to a lot of other movies.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about content-wise, like they didn't show stuff that they should have?
Yeah. Wait, for King Richard or Selma?
Well, both. I mean, because you're saying safe. So
King Richard, you can't really point out a time where they went through a real struggle. You know what I mean? The struggle.
We talked about this. Yeah, like I mean, getting into like the shit that they really had to like. Are we talking about like the stuff that they really have to deal with?
Right.
Like all these people talk like, because only had that one scene where him and that one dude was he was fucking with what's it called? Well, not mess. He was talking mess about his daughters or something, or trying to get at his daughter.
Yeah, gangbanger. But the real story was so much deeper than that. But that shit only lasted like 10 minutes. It was like they were coming up messing with him, trying to get a daughter. He got beat up once, and then the dude got killed, and it was kind of like now everything's all right. For the rest of the movie, it's like they don't really. There's no real. There's like a hint at it, but they don't really touch on it.
Do you mean as far as the struggle, as far as trying to get the girls like into like getting a coach and getting into the playing of the tennis?
I mean, they show them getting the coach and all of that, but it's like the path was easy in the movie, but in real life the path wasn't that easy. You know what I mean? It was like they kind of just flow through shit. Like they got a coach trained them. They got a new coach trained them. They got that nice ass house. Now they're in school and the coach is trained. It was like, I don't think it was that easy in real life. And if you heard the stories in real life, it wasn't that easy.
Yeah.
It was like they were scared to show real life shit. That
and
they
maybe
were
because I think last time you guys talked about it, because I hadn't seen it yet, I think Josh had made a comment or questioned that because maybe it was by the Warner Brothers, WB, that may be why. Right. Maybe they couldn't, have to be careful with what they put in there context-wise. Like,
yeah, but it's also like it's a 2 hour and 30-minute film, so it's kind of hard to put in a lot of like all the stuff that you need in there. I know some people here would love to watch a 4-hour movie. That's the thing is like I get what Lamar's saying, but at the same time, like I think they probably could have done like if they did it like American Dream, the Jackson 5 story,
made
like a 5-hour movie on there. Yeah, like I think you could put a lot more into like a longer movie.
But no, so I'm not saying how much. I'm talking about the difficulties of it. They never gave you a moment where it's like give up hope.
Okay, we talked. Yeah.
Who directed King Richard?
I don't really know.
So, because I feel like say if like a John Singleton had done it, it would have been different. But so I think it's all about who directed it and the production company that it was under. And you figure Warner Brothers, they're not going to get really like down and dirty with what they actually endured. So I could see that. I could see your comment about it being too safe, and I could see that now, but I still thought it was a really good movie.
No, it was, and that's why I said I'm not taking nothing from it. It's just something was bothering me about it.
And
so I
plus,
just get that, so when you watch, well, you haven't seen it, but Will Smith's movie with his son,
Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness. When you watch that, you get the feeling of fuck, how's he gonna get out of this? You get those moments where you really feel like that. In this, you don't really get that. So it's like it's still a good movie, but
I mean, even though we all know they're successful.
I was gonna say maybe that has something to do with it. Like nobody really knows that one guy, his story. We all know Venus and Serena Williams' story, so we know that the outcome is amazing. But what was his name? The guy from Pursuit of Happiness. But we also knew Michael Jackson's story. We also knew James Brown's story. We also knew everybody's story that they came out on top. But they showed moments where it's like, fuck. So, you don't get no real scenes where it's like, damn, it could have been over right there, or damn, how'd they overcome that? You don't get that.
So I want to ask, like, what was the last movie you saw that you felt like, oh, even if you knew they succeeded in real life, like a biopic, and then there's moments where you're like, fuck, how are they gonna get out of this one, or how are they gonna come on top?
I mean, name some biopics, and
because I really can't remember the last time I felt like. Well, the reason why I felt that with Pursuit of Happiness, because that was just focusing on him trying to get the job and dealing with all this other stuff. I mean, and then once he gets the job, that was the end of the story. Where there's probably more stuff you could tell about him, but that was the goal of the movie, of telling that story.
But in that story, you get those moments.
Yeah, like even in Straight Outta Compton, I don't think I felt a moment where it's like, fuck. It took me out of not like real life and not knowing, even though I know they were successful, it never got me to the point where I'm like, oh shit, how's Ice Cube gonna get out of this situation? Or how's like Eazy gonna do something? Like that's how I felt. Like I felt certain emotions, but not like to a point where I'm like, oh shit, how are they gonna deal with this?
I felt like that, but it's not with a real life story. It's a fictional story, and it was that show Queens. That's what I feel that way. Where I like know where they're at, but then they flash it back, and like you see all these things happening. I'm like, ooh, how do they come back from this? But so the scene where Richard goes, because the guy, they're fucking with him, they beat him up at the basketball court, and then he goes to try to find them, and he parks the car and he comes out with the gun. I was like, shit, does he shoot them? Like, and so so that scene had me feeling like that, like, oh damn, like what happens with him after this, and what's gonna, how's he gonna get out of it later? But he lucked out. It was almost like this is the lengths he was gonna go to because of this happening, but luckily he didn't have to do anything because somebody else did it for him.
And then what other scene after that did you get that feeling?
Well, I got the feeling
as far as the tennis.
It was like, she's gonna win. She's taking a bathroom break. That fucking cheating bitch. Yeah. Like at the end, because I don't know anything about that. So.
So the whole thing is like Venus and Serena was the only two daughters he had with that lady, but you don't really know that unless you know the story. You know what I'm saying? It made everything seem peachy, but it wasn't peachy.
You know what I mean? They're not going to show any. They're not going to show the whole story. I mean, to me, I don't know any movie that really shows any movie that was.
That's the drama I'm talking about. The story seemed so easy.
I think that would have to be another story. The story I got from this was how the girls got their break.
Yeah.
So it was like the lead up to that, and then the big loss. So, them touching on, having other kids. And when the wife was like, your son came to my door and you kind of just like dismissed him and you're a quitter, like all of that was, I don't want to say it was enough, but I didn't need more than that because I figured the story was just this part of his life.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, there also can be another movie that somebody can be like, all right, let's do, before they became famous, how we started this family. Like, there'll probably be another movie. And like I said, if you want to do the whole story, you have to do it on something like, VH1 5-hour movie. I mean,
but you don't,
because you're talking about all the stuff but that just adds on more minutes.
Because they would have had to cut out a lot of the tennis stuff, going to other people with the pamphlets and then getting a hold of the coach and getting the girls like practicing. A lot of that would have had to been cut out to focus more on his story.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that his story, it was a light. It was an extremely light version of his story. They made
I agree. Yeah.
They made it seem like he wrote out a plan and everything went according to plan.
Yeah, I mean,
there was no point after the dude gets killed. There's no point where you like, damn, I would have gave up right there, or damn, how's he gonna get by this? After that, it was just like, let's highlight some speeches he did. Let's highlight some moments where he dropped his knowledge instead of being, I don't know, just my opinion. I don't know. For me,
like I said,
the movie doesn't have to be longer, but put more reality in what you're doing.
Put more reality into the scenes that were in there, you mean?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Don't take anything out, don't put anything in, just make it more dramatic and make it more like,
here's what they should have done.
How are we gonna get out of this?
They should have been more true.
They should have been at like a diner, and all of a sudden these aliens from outer space or whatever come and attack them, and they have to be very quiet and have like a really good scene where they're all attacking the town.
I don't know what does that have to do with what I'm talking about?
I think that would have been a better movie for Lamar, like just that one scene, and the rest of the movie could have been really cool.
All right, so number 4 was King Richard for Josh.
Talking about.
Never mind.
Okay.
Let's just skip.
Okay. Lamar, what's your number 4?
Hey, hold on, wait. Did we say my number? We talking about number 4 was King Richard, right?
Yeah, we were talking about it for a while.
That's what we were talking about. My number 4, 3 Peter Parkers.
Okay.
Which one is that?
Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Which I didn't expect to like that much. Like I said, I didn't like the first 2 that he was in. I like the other Spider-Mans, not the first 2 with what is that guy's name?
The second
Spider-Man. Huh?
The second Spider-Man?
No, the one now, the Crybaby Spider-Man. What's his name?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Yeah,
Tom Holland. I didn't like his first 2 movies, so I didn't expect to like this one. But I was pleasantly surprised because it was a great movie.
Well, I'll say this, that's my number 4 also, so we can just talk about it.
Because they actually had scenes with real drama in it. Even though it's a made-up story, they had real drama in the scenes, unlike King Richard, where he just wrote it down and it came to fruition. And he told Serena in the tunnel, "You're going to be the greatest ever," and it actually happened. The end.
I don't get what you're saying. I'm not getting it. What are you talking about, Lamar? That wasn't in the movie.
Anyway, Spider-Man was really enjoyable. It was really enjoyable. I actually watched it a second time.
Right, and I'm going to. I was really shocked on how I don't know, because they didn't do the normal Marvel goofy shit, and he wasn't being as crybaby-ish as he was in the first 2. So I was kind of caught off guard. Everything worked in this movie.
Yeah, and what could have not worked was the scene where they were like bigging each other up. The 3 Spider-Man.
That could have failed, but it didn't. It worked.
Yeah.
But there was a flaw, just me overthinking it, that we talked about, Tasha, with the whole time travel thing, but that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
That's what you talking about with the villains. Yeah,
that's a whole different
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I do agree that I wasn't the biggest fan of the Spider-Man Homecoming was Tom Holland's first solo Spider-Man film in the MCU. Like, a lot of people really enjoyed it, but I just didn't really care for it. But I did
the
enjoy
movie. Like, did you guys both not care about the movies, or was it just Lamar, specifically Tom Holland as Spider-Man?
It was but he kind of, in that sense, he kind of is the movie. So it's like the movie itself, if you got that guy playing Spider-Man in that movie, it's like, I don't know if somebody else could have did a better job, but it was just, I was taken out by him.
I think it's more of the movie. Like, I thought he did okay, because I liked him in the other MCU films as Spider-Man in Infinity War and Civil War.
I didn't.
Endgame. I really liked Tom Holland as Spider-Man in those films, but I feel like his solo films just didn't do it for me. The second one kind of did, but I'm still into the first 2 Spider-Mans with Tobey Maguire. Those 2 are my favorite Spider-Man films, and those benefit because those were just Spider-Man films. They didn't have to rely on like MCU references, like, hey, this is Captain America, you know, like how we
Yeah,
like,
it was his own thing. It was his
yeah,
own
yeah. But
thing.
like now, Spider-Man's in the world where other heroes exist, so nobody really cares about him. So he can't really do the Spider-Man thing. So that was kind of like the one thing I didn't like about the MCU Spider-Man films. But I like what they did in No Way Home to kind of like fix that issue.
Mhm.
But I don't want to say anything without spoiling, unless it's a spoiler discussion. Is this a spoiler discussion?
If the world doesn't know we spoil shit by now, then
Right.
Yeah, bro. The last 2 times.
It says it real big on every video. Spoiler discussion.
yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
so,
so I was asking Lamar, who's your favorite Spider-Man?
My favorite was Tobey Maguire. As Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire. My favorite storyline was Andrew Garfield. So I thought his Spider-Man storyline was better than Tobey Maguire. And then I just didn't like Tom Holland at all. Even in the Marvel world, it was like he was just too whiny and too much of a goddamn crybaby to where it was annoying. It just annoyed the fuck.
You said you've seen the Tobey Maguire ones.
Yeah.
He's kind of on the same lines of being a crybaby too.
Not like Tom Holland.
I felt like Tom Holland was more childlike.
Yeah.
To Tobey Maguire. But he didn't annoy me though. He didn't annoy me, but he was more childlike. Like Tobey Maguire was more, he seemed more mature, like mature acting.
Maybe that's because he was a 30-year-old playing a teen.
Right. He's a grown-ass man. And Tom Holland is young, so he's young playing, a teenage character.
But so the thing is, so my kids loved it. Like, well, not my kids. Isaiah loved it. He loved Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and I always be like, I can't stand this motherfucker. But in this one, he was still childish, but he was more, I don't know, more mature, more of a mature child. But he had scenes where it reminded you that he was a kid. That I actually like.
Well, I think this movie is like more mature itself because the other ones just had hella like unfunny jokes and kind of too goofy at times. As I felt, and this one had its jokes, but dealing with the stuff that he had to deal with in the film, and then like talking to all the other Spider-Mans and going through certain emotions, and not cutting to a joke, which irritates the hell out of me in the MCU. Yeah. So that's what I mean when I say mature. When it's like, they know when and where the joke, but they're not shying away from like a emotional scene. There was like 2 big emotional scenes in that movie, and they're like,
I say 3 big.
Maybe 3. Which one are you talking about?
So he had the one where his aunt died. He had the one where he's crying on the roof, and then he has the one where he's trying to kill what's his name?
Oh, Green Goblin. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So all 3 of those for me were emotional because he delivered in those scenes. In all 3 of them, you felt his energy in those scenes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So number 4 for both Lamar and myself was Spider-Man. So we're jumping to you, Josh, for number 3.
All right, number 3. Shit. Okay. Remake. Adaptation. Sci-fi.
Damn, neither one of those.
Here's a bonus question. On a bonus hint. Jason Momoa.
Justice League.
No.
Aquaman?
No. Book adaptation.
Momoa.
I don't think you guys know this film or probably forgot about it, so I might have to just say
I think I know what you're talking about, and I didn't see it because they showed a preview when I was watching something else, but I didn't see it. I feel like I know what you're talking about. It was like a straight to streaming movie, right?
No, it was okay. So it came out. It was in theaters and HBO Max.
Right.
I have absolutely no idea.
I don't know what it's called, but I think I know what he's talking about.
All right. So the movie I'm talking about, number 3 for my favorite film of 2021, is Dune.
Oh yeah, I would not have got that.
No.
I didn't know he was in that movie.
Yeah. I was gonna say Dave Bautista. I was like, nah, Jason Momoa had more screen time on the trailer.
Oh, wasn't Timothy Chalamet in that?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I would not have gotten that.
That movie was so boring.
And so good. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I was like, I have no interest in seeing it.
Have you seen the original?
Yeah, I did not know what the fuck that movie was about. Like, when everybody's saying it's hella hard to adapt that movie, like that book, into a movie, they weren't lying. So what they did with this one, they was like, all right, fuck it, let's just do half the book in one movie, and then half, like, they did they're doing two parts, so 2 books for 1 movie. And I thought I wasn't gonna like it, but as I was watching it, I realized, damn, and it's the same day I saw Eternals too.
Damn, you watched both of them? That's crazy.
Yeah, I watched Eternals in Dublin, and then I watched Dune on HBO Max.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm surprised to say, like, I would never like. Yeah. I didn't think I was going to, but I was like, oh shit, this was really, really good.
Okay, so I don't want to go too hard on it because I actually like normally I'll doze off and wake back up and finish, but this one I fell into a deep sleep on. So I want to watch it. I want to watch it again.
It is long. It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
But I did like the payoff at the end that I really enjoyed. Now this is like, how do I say it? Fuck it. Now this is a film that you might have to, because there's a lot of, like, what's it called? There's not that much dialogue. There's just a lot of music and scenery playing where they're showing all these long shots, and it's taking a long time to get the story moving. So those one things where like cinematography is really good, music, camera work, but it does take its time to get to the main story. But
hence falling into a deep sleep because you're watching.
Yeah.
So I got the feel of like a Lord of the Rings, to where it's like, so my problem always with Lord of the Rings is how boring it, because you guys know how I feel about if dialogue and there's no action. I gotta be in the mood for that. I have to be in the mood for a long dialogue. So when I saw the preview for this, it looked like action. Yeah. And then me and Katrina watched the whole thing, but I was like, oh, I can't. I woke up and was like, I can't do this, and I laid down and went to sleep.
Yeah, that's a movie I have no desire to see.
Yeah.
I like I said, that's another movie I don't know who to recommend to, so I just don't want to recommend it to anybody.
But a lot of people love that shit though. Like, a lot of people love that movie.
Yeah, but I'm like, are these people the fans of the book, of the old school movies, sci-fi? Like,
I think it's those Star Wars fans.
Yeah, I don't think it's a worldwide, like, it's not a movie that everybody can like. There's, like, I think there's certain people that would like it. Like, that's one of those movies where you could say, like, you know, maybe I wasn't expecting anything, because the guy that did it do not care about most of the movies he's done. I didn't care about Arrival. I didn't care about Blade Runner 2049. Sicario was okay, an okay movie, but nothing like walked out like, oh, that was great. Like, a lot of his movies are drawn, like, they drag. They're very fucking slow. They're lifeless. And then when I saw this one, I was like, oh shit, this is the same guy. It's slow moving, but you know, I'm feeling the music. I'm feeling like what I'm seeing. I like the people in it. I'm all like, okay, let's see where this goes.
You must have been high as hell to see 2 movies before this and still stay through it. That you must have been on a mission.
I mean, to tell you the truth, is when I was like, still like, I just got done with surgery, so like a couple weeks later, I was like, hey, let me go to the movie theater and check this out.
And you saw it in theaters too?
I saw Eternals in theaters, and I saw Dune on HBO Max. Like, I took a nap. Everything. I took a nap before I watched it, and you know, guy was talking about checking it out, and Kenny, so I was like, fuck, let's just watch it right now, and so let's start it at 6, because it's like 3 or 2.5 hours. So let's see what's up. And I barely was on my phone. I must have turned Instagram off. You know, Instagram.
There was no distractions with that movie, huh?
Yeah.
I will, like I said, I don't want to talk too down on it. I'll try to watch it another day. I don't know when, but I don't want to talk too down on it because I didn't make it.
When you're not tired.
Yeah. I have to be not tired. I got to be fucking hyped on Mountain Dew. I gotta be.
Don't have a full belly.
Well, once you save that energy for Lord of the Rings, so you go back and watch.
But I did go back. I watched 2 Lord of the Rings. I picked the perfect time to watch them, and it was all right. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. It was all right. I'm not gonna add it to no list, but it was all right.
All right. Well, speaking of lists, that was Josh's number 3, Dune.
Dune, yeah.
Lamar, what's your number 3?
Kung Fu inspired by House of Flying Daggers and Jet Li movies.
Quan Chi. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, "Fuck, did I write it right?"
Like that's what it's
No,
called.
I said that to my friend the other day. I was talking to him yesterday. I was like, "Yeah, I like Quan Chi. It was cool." Wait, you mean Shang-Chi? I'm like, yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
I wrote, wait, so it's not called Shanghai?
No, it's called Shang-Chi. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I fucked this title up so many times. I fuck
We
it
knew
up.
you did.
Sorry, I didn't mean to fuck it up even more. I didn't know I said that.
But I was hooked on this movie. And it's funny because we watched it opening night at a drive-in and we had to park. You know what a snack bar is at the drive-in? We had to park along. You guys haven't been to drive-in a long time.
Forever.
Last time was 2017.
Last time was 94.
Okay, so it's almost the equivalent of looking at 7-Eleven from Mama Vicky's house from the backyard patio.
Wow.
If you know how far that is.
I mean, I got a visual, but go ahead.
If you were trying to look at 7-Eleven, if you were trying to look at 7-Eleven from that patio,
you wouldn't have seen it, right?
But if it
would be in the distance.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Even being that far, I was hooked on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that shit captured me from the beginning. And like I said, it had been so long since I've seen a movie like that where you see the actual fighting like from the beginning like that, or that type of fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of had me hooked from the beginning, and I didn't expect it because there wasn't really a lot of hype around that movie.
Nah,
I didn't hear any.
The only hype was Marvel. I think, like you said, Josh, once you hear the name Marvel, it's like, oh, we gotta go see this. So the theater was packed out to where you couldn't even park. Mm-hmm. So we had to park all the way by the fucking snack bar and watch it. Mm-hmm. But that shit was good as fuck.
Did you see it, Josh?
That's all. I liked it.
Yeah. I didn't see it. That's another one I didn't really have a desire to see.
Yeah.
That one, Eternals.
No, I would say check out Shang-Chi before you see Eternals, Tasha.
I would not have seen Spider-Man had I not had an idea of what they were bringing to the movie. Like I kind of went in like, oh, I wonder if this is going to happen. So
you didn't have a choice with Spider-Man because DeMarcus wanted to see it, so you didn't have a choice in that.
I could have dropped their butts off and been like, I'll pick you guys up in a couple hours. But I didn't see the first two Tom Holland Spider-Man, so I really had no reason to go see it other than what I thought was going to happen.
I think me and DeMarcus both like Spider-Man, but we still like Dark Knight more. Because I guess like he told me like he liked Dark Knight. He said everybody else that saw like Spider-Man more, but he's all like the Dark Knight. I'm like, oh shit, okay, let me.
DeMarcus also liked Venom Part 2.
He did, yeah.
What's up? Did he like it over? Did he like both of Spider-Man?
He likes both Venom movies, so yeah, that doesn't really help your case, Josh.
He also liked Venom Part 2. But just that this movie caught me off guard, and it was hella good. And the funny thing is, I still haven't watched it again yet because we were trying to catch up on watching the MCU movies. But Katrina's there now, so we're gonna watch it now.
Oh, okay. So does that fall into the whole Avengers and Iron Man?
This after it's after all that. It's like a continuation, right? Into the story.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's supposed to be like right after Endgame. Well, let's see. Black Widow, that's a prequel. Shang-Chi. So all these movies that are coming out are like after Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Black Widow, the end credits was after Endgame. So
the end credits? No. Wait, was it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was because she died. Yeah.
Damn. Spoiler alert.
We just spoiled No Way Home. So yeah.
Black Widow was months ago.
Spoiler alert, and then I spoiled someone else saying it.
I say she did.
And actually that was Endgame, so that was a couple years ago.
I think that's the reason why, like, maybe I didn't really care for it as much because I was like, man, this character is dead. and you're not really showing me something really new. So
Yeah,
I think that's the reason why. Yeah.
So I like Black Widow because I wasn't invested. But I think I would have felt like you felt, Josh. Like if I was keeping up with it and then they dropped the movie, like why? Fuck, why? Show me at the end that she comes back here.
Or maybe I was getting kind of like tired of Marvel films, like not really invested in them. Like I was kind of falling off a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Eternals kind of brought me back. And then Spider-Man brought me like, all right, I'm ready. What's up?
Eternals brought you back?
Yeah, like because I'm just like with MCU films, I'm tired of like the jokes that are stupid. Like that's what really irritates me. They just keep on doing joke after joke, and it kind of gets repetitive, and they're not even funny. So
I think that the best example of that was Venom 2. That's when I realized, oh, you guys are trying to be too funny. Like that's when I realized it.
Yeah, and funny. Like Shang-Chi was cool. I think what kept me from getting the higher scores just certain things in that movie. I'm like, all right, come on now, let's mature the fuck up. All right, not all kids watch Marvel films. Maybe kid like, yeah, it's and I did like the action. They got a little bit too overboard with the dragons at the end, but I was like, all right, it's cool.
But it is reminiscent of those movies, like House of Flying Daggers. They're literally flying.
Fucking dragons, flying daggers, not dragons, daggers.
It's magic. It's Marvel. It's Marvel.
I know it's Marvel. That's why I'm just like, I get it. I still don't like it, but I get it. I think it was just I'm like, even with the shows that were coming out, I kind of was like, except for Loki. I like Loki a lot. And the last 3 episodes of Winter Soldier and Falcon and WandaVision.
WandaVision is the best, man.
Good idea. Yeah, it was cool.
Okay. So number 3 is Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 3, my clues are astronomers, Earth,
you put it on there?
comet.
You put it on there?
Hell yes, I put it on
there.
Wait.
Is that
Don't Look Up.
Wait, Tomorrow War, or am I thinking of something else?
Don't Look Up.
Oh, that's what it is?
I'm
sorry, I must have been interrupted by Instagram.
That movie, the movie was good, but fucking what's his name is a standout. Like what's
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill is so fucking funny in that movie.
If
they would have put Jonah Hill in Claws, I would have forgot about them not having.
Well, he should have been the postman.
Jonah Hill was such an asshole in this movie. It's like he didn't give a shit in this movie.
But it was funny. He was such a dick, but it was like you couldn't help. He was hilarious.
It was fucking hilarious. Nobody wrote any of that shit he did or said in that movie.
He improv that entire thing.
Yeah.
But
he is fucking hilarious.
I liked it as I watched it. Like I was really into it. And then when it ended, the more I thought about it, I was like, I really like that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that movie did to me. It made me think about it even afterwards. And I was thinking about seeing stuff that happened. I was like, I really like that movie.
Mm-hmm. And it was good that it didn't end how you expected it to end.
All right.
Like it was like, this is the end, regardless of how the fuck they're not going to stop this shit.
No, I ain't gonna watch it. Go ahead.
Why not? It's good.
Because Instagram doesn't go off.
That's why I don't have my notifications on.
This New Year's resolution, like, you know what? I'm just gonna like, if the movie catches, like this year coming up, the movie captures my attention, I'm gonna watch it. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna have to skip it.
So how far did you get into the movie, Josh?
Leonardo DiCaprio was talking to some people. He's talking to Meryl Streep, and then he was talking to this one other actor that's well known. All right, to tell you the truth, I don't.
So you barely watched it, basically. You put it on.
I put it on. I was like, hey, I could do 2 things. I could force myself to watch it and gain nothing, or I could not invest it and watch something. I was multitasking. I was watching a video on YouTube, and then I was watching Don't Look Up. What's it called? Yeah, Don't Look Up. And the challenge I had is like, okay, which one is gonna grab my interest right away? And apparently that, and You Got Me. All right, you guys, You Got Me. And Instagram didn't really interfere. I was just trying to be
Instagram one.
Instagram. Well, no, actually, the video on YouTube one. Yeah,
the guy from Dune is in there too.
Timothy Chalamet's in it too.
Oh yeah. That's where I saw that part. I got to
That's later in the movie. You did not make it that far.
I did. They were in the grocery store. They were in the grocery store, and Jennifer Lawrence was there.
Did you see Kid Cudi?
Yeah, he was on the news. He was on the news saying stuff. Yeah. And he said, "There's Don't Look Up," because the comment was.
Anyway, I really liked it. I really liked that movie, and I'm not being biased because my boo's in it. It was good. The movie was good. Period. He was amazing in it too, though.
Who was?
But it's Leo. Leo's great in everything.
Did he take his shirt off?
No, he did. He got a dad bod. So
he was Leo with the
he got a dad bod now. So, no, but was he shirtless? I don't know. But that's doesn't matter. But you can tell the people in the movie though, like Kate Blanchett, I didn't realize it was her at first.
You know what's funny? When it started, it starts right, and then they do the credits of showing everybody. And I looked at Katrina, I was like, oh, it's one of those fucking movies. I don't like the movies where they drop hella actors in it. But this shit worked. Yeah. Surprisingly.
It had a lot of good actors in it too. So
normally when they do that, it's some Valentine's Day bullshit.
Right. Or New Year's Eve. But what I liked about the movie was it was so like timely. Like it's about what's going on now.
Yeah.
With like the whole vaccination, like that whole thing, how you have people for it, people against it, and then people using like the government and social media to like change your views on it and try to like put your views on other people. So it's a lot of that, but just in a different way.
It was ridiculous. The separation was ridiculous, but it's exactly what it is today.
Exactly what it is today. It's very timely. So. But I thought all the acting was good in it too, and like you said, Lamar, the end was just like you're thinking one thing and then it happens. So I don't know. I really liked it.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah, I watched it, a little bit of it.
Whatever. All right, Josh, what's your number 2?
So my number 2, and this was a tricky one because I had to really think about it because 1 and 2 kind of went back and forth with each other, and then. Yeah, I had to, number 2, I had to really think about it. So number 2, the hints are Heroes, 4 hours long. Yep. And I have to do the third one. Yeah. Justice League, the Snyder Cut.
Right.
Seems like all these movies I didn't really care for to see. And
you're right.
Yeah. But end up just not just like I said, not just walking out like, oh, that was cool. No, like end up like, oh shit. I like even if I had high anticipations for it, it would have met my expectations. And the Snyder Cut, I'm not a fan of watching 4-hour long movies, but I think that was perfect how it was on HBO Max.
And I only watched it because Josh said it. Because I remember how you felt about the original Justice League. You were like, fuck this movie. And then when he said, watch this, I was like, let me just turn it on and see. And then Katrina sat down with me. We ended up sitting and watching the whole fucking movie. I was like, that was good.
Yeah.
So the version, the 4-hour version that came out this year, did they redo the original movie and add stuff to it, or did they totally change the whole movie?
I think the stuff was already there. Like he already filmed a lot of the movie, and then something tragic happened with his family, so he had to leave. So they gave the film to the guy that did the Avengers, Joss Whedon, whatever the hell his name is, and they had to cut it down to 2 hours. So all the stuff that was in the Snyder Cut was already there. They just cut a lot of stuff and added new things in. And I'm all like, I thought it was like one of those things where they would just add 2 extra scenes, and that's the Snyder Cut.
That's normally what it is.
Yeah, but it was almost a completely different movie to where all the stuff that they were editing out, you're just like, why the fuck did you took this thing out and added something new and not necessary?
I remember the big deal was after people watched this was that they cut the black dude story. I've never seen the one they put out, but a lot of people's problem was they were like, why would they cut the black dude story? Like his whole story was cut out. They said compared to
Yeah,
this
it was,
one,
and that was like probably like one of the main reasons why I liked this movie a lot, because it was necessary. Like all the stuff that I was like, why the fuck this doesn't make sense in the original, the theatrical version. And then I watched the Snyder cut. Like a lot of shit was necessary,
right?
And it's cool to have, because not too many people know Cyborg, and I didn't give a shit about him. But then watching this made me like, and also Doom Patrol made me like, damn, if only had like maybe more villains, they could do a movie. I don't know. Like it's kind of hard to say. I'll tell if he can do a solo movie, but I did like the guy that played him, and I liked the story. Yeah, they cut out a lot of stuff, and I was kind of like, the fuck. And
so Justice League, it always seemed corny to me. Like I had never watched their movies, like the fucking none of their solo movies except for Batman's. So it always gave me this feel like you guys want to be like Marvel and it's not working, and that's just being biased, not even watching the movies. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh shit, like everybody's good in this motherfucker. It's not like it like DC movies always seem like a diet version of Marvel movies besides Batman.
Yeah, well,
seemed like that to me.
I know like once Avengers was successful, they were trying to play catch up when they were doing like after Man of Steel, they were doing like Batman v Superman, the regular Justice League. It's like, and y'all trying to be funny, nah, like don't do the Marvel thing. Marvel, I give props for like as much as I don't like most recent films as much as the older ones, or like there's a few of them I don't really care for at all. Like for example, I think Doctor Strange is an okay film. The first one.
That's a great movie. Great.
Great. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah. But there are some people out there that say it's great. To me, like Marvel's not all, they don't always have great films. Some of them are just entertaining, and then some of them are kind of mediocre, and then you have ones that are really, really good or amazing. And I just think if DC did their own thing, it'd be cool. Now Marvel took its time from Iron Man to like all the other movies and had this interconnected world they had, like this the universe, the MCU, like Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I give them props. Like no matter if I ever get tired of seeing Marvel films and stop seeing them, I'm not gonna not acknowledge the fact that they did do something different in cinema history, to where after that they had to do the MonsterVerse with Godzilla and King Kong, and then they had to do the DC universe. Now the Conjuring has a universe, and then they try to do the Dark Universe. What's up?
The MonsterVerse.
Yeah, like all this shit that didn't even get past the first movie. Oh no, sorry. That was the Dark Universe with Dracula and Invisible Man, and it seems like nobody could like get it right.
Right.
Yeah, because Marvel's like, hey, let's do one movie, see if it's good, do another movie, and then eventually have them all come together. Like it's thinking like you said, it's what King Richard did. He thought out of a plan, he wrote it down, and was like, here, this is what we're going to do. So that's what people need to do, like write out of what?
I'm listening.
What? I'm just going by what you told me. Sorry,
I'm listening.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely think Justice League, is my second favorite film of the year. It was a movie of 4 hours I was enjoying the heck out of. And like you said, Tasha, like there's I go by the movies that after I watch them, I think about like, man, I really enjoyed that film. Like I was just thinking more about certain things, even the things that I know people don't like about it, but I was like, no, fuck it, I still like. And my number one movie has a lot of things a lot of questions I have to ask about and didn't get answered, but the rest of it is great. So yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you know what my first movie is, but let's go to the second.
Yeah, I'm not sure what your number one is.
Energy for my number two by letting us know what you feel about your number one. You let me get my number two out.
Yeah, no. Well, that's why I was gonna, transition
to be continued.
Yeah. My number two, Black Panthers, Wrongful Murder, and Undercover Snitch.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Black Messiah, yeah.
Amazing.
Incredible movie that I don't have the heart to really watch again.
Amazing movie.
Amazing movie, but I can't pull myself to, or I could watch it again, but I can't watch that ending scene because I think after we watch it to review it, then I watch it again. But right when it got to the ending, I can't do that shit again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's one of those movies where it's like it's so highly rated and it's amazing, but you don't have to watch it again. There's certain movies that it's either too hard to, or it's just not rewatchable, but it's an amazing movie.
Right.
So.
And that's one of them. Like that, just the performance alone from Lakeith, like that shit was amazing for me. Like amazing performance.
Lakeith doesn't get his due credit.
Yeah.
This guy, that guy is ridiculous. And leading up to that, I was like, he's becoming one of my favorite actors. But that like solidified it. Like this dude is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That scene where he's like, he's about to do it, but he's like, you could see that internal battle.
Like that shit. Like
see it in his eyes. Like he
sells it a lot by doing nothing. You know what I mean? He does a lot of his scenes that he sells like that. It's like it's like I'm just me. I'm not acting. I'm not putting on a show. It's just me. It's like he feels like he really has to kill this man for real.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of gets across to you. But even before that, all his other scenes where it's like he's doing shady shit and then he's kind of laughing about it. It's like, dude, it's fucked up what you're doing, but you in it. I got to do it.
Yeah, because he's looking out for himself.
So that's definitely a high-ranking movie, like for me.
Yeah.
Very high-ranking. Not number one.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what your number one is.
I think I know what his number one
Tasha
is.
knows exactly what it is, but not number one. But it's very close. It's very close.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be your number one, so I'm kind of surprised. I know what your number one is. But,
yeah.
Okay. Anything else on that one?
I mean, there's nothing else I can say.
Okay.
Yeah, I would put that definitely on my honorable mention.
It's crazy that it came out this year.
I think I forgot about it. Like it still was a really good,
but I forgot about it. No, February.
Yeah, it came out early this year.
Yeah,
early.
It seems like a whole another year, even though it's about to be. But I think after the awards, I'm like, okay, now 2021 movies have started.
Yeah, yeah, right. Not January 1st, but after the Golden Globes.
Yeah. Now that's his character, even though he's fucking like it's fucking despicable what he did. Like, but Lakeith as that actor who has to play like, I think he had the toughest role to play in that movie, and played it right. And yeah, he is actually becoming like an actor I really really like. Like, he was in Knives Out. I like what's it called? Sorry to bother you. Yeah, that was a movie. I don't really care about the ending.
It was so underrated.
Yeah, I didn't care about the ending. What's going on? I know why. I mean, I get why they did it, but I did really like it. And I just, he's the main reason, major part why I like that movie.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, that movie was hella underrated, and I understood everything they were trying to do with it. Even though it's weird, I understood everything.
It was very, very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my number 2 is Coliseum. Tennis. Sisters. I really liked that movie. I thought it was really good. I thought Will Smith was really good in that movie.
Right, because he had the inspiring lines and moments.
Yeah, which is, I mean, Will Smith is.
But I'm gonna ask, like, okay, how many? I just want to know, like, Lamar, how many minutes of extra, like, if you could give this movie more minutes to have the things that you want to do.
I think you're focused on the wrong point of what I'm saying. It's not how much time they have in the movie; it's what they do in the time.
That's what I said. He said, well, he didn't say this. I said you wouldn't take anything out. You would just have them make those scenes more dramatic.
Not even dramatic, but like every life story, they have a breaking point. They have a point where it's like, damn, how do you get past this? Besides the gangbanging part that they just skimmed over, what point did you feel like they had a part where it's like, how do they get past this? Even the argument in the kitchen with him and his wife, They kind of skim past all the fucked up shit you really did in real life.
Mhm.
They skim past it and they're all right. It's like there's no point where it's like all is lost. They don't have those points.
Or maybe they did, but they weren't like the scene where child services or CPS came
Yeah, but
to the
that
house because
wasn't.
the neighbor called on it. Like that's they had those moments, but maybe it didn't get it, like you said, it didn't get too real. It wasn't real
It
enough.
wasn't real. There was no sense of CPS is really going to take these kids. You never got that sense.
Yeah.
You got the sense that they showed up and they used that scene so he can do his speech to make the audience cry about Black people and what they go through raising their kids. I understood the moment they were creating, but there was no sense of CPS is taking your kids. You don't get that sense.
Yeah, because you got them out late night in the rain on a school night.
I mean,
Right.
I got a sense that they need to, what's it called, do well to become, tennis players because of the shit that they were dealing with. I had a sense of that, but maybe I didn't feel it as much. But what I'm getting at is like, so, but that's what I'm saying. Like, did you want like extra time for it to resonate with you, or like do you feel like the acting wasn't good enough? Like,
you weren't worried.
No,
When you
I
watch,
see what Lamar's saying.
you're not worried. You don't think CPS is really here to take these kids. We know the ending. We get that. We know the ending. But if CPS shows up, shit is real. They're not gonna listen to his speech and leave. You know what I mean? That's it. They did that on purpose. There was it wasn't real in that scene. It wasn't real. There was no feeling of damn, CPS really showed up.
One thing I did notice that they didn't do was they didn't really deal with discrimination. Like I thought that they would, especially the girls.
They skimmed over that too.
Yeah, that was one thing I did notice that they didn't.
That was all wrapped up in a speech at the table when he's like, "You try to belittle me as a businessman." Like I said, it was like, I don't get me wrong, I do think it's a good movie, but compare this to Get On Up, compare this to fucking Ray Charles, compare it to NWA story, compare it to the Jackson 5 story. There's real moments that they don't really tackle, and they were in Compton.
Right.
They weren't just threatening him in real life on those tennis courts. They were trying to kill him. He went through a lot to get them to play tennis there in the real story.
Yeah.
But on here, they kind of skimmed over it. I get they shot him. There was a shocking scene. They shot the drug dealer. After that, everything was fine. There was no more problems.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand a little bit more.
Right. So it's not how long the movie is. The length means nothing if you're not pinpointing shit. The length means nothing.
So it wasn't just certain scenes that could have been. It was just like that one scene could have been done better. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, not even done better. Just I don't know. Make it real.
Because I know.
Well, that's what I meant. Like when I say make the scene better, like do you think like they should have done it differently? Like to make you feel a way like, oh shit, I'm concerned.
Maybe add more to it.
Well, I'm saying we're not talking about adding because the length, you said the length of the movie doesn't
I don't
matter.
mean lengthwise. I meant the content, what's already there. Like add more to it. Like whether it's the what do you call it? The emotions in it or the actions that are happening in it. Because they did say when he got beat up, I think one of the girls was like, "Dad got beat up again." Like that kind of let you know just from that.
Like, but it was realer than that. That's a main part of that's a main part of him getting his daughters to practice tennis before they made it big. It was the dealing with the gangbangers who didn't want him doing that around there. But they kind of just skimmed over it. Like they got past that part so fast. It was like, damn. And then the majority of the movie, they're living a good life, basically. Even if they don't make it in tennis, they're living good. They're in a big ass house. They're going to Disneyland when they want to. It's like they had a great life, but that's not the reality.
Yeah, maybe the director wanted to take a break from like struggles with people that we kept on seeing in every single movie.
It may be, but when it's a real life situation.
But like when you name off all the other movies, obviously to me, King Richard would be below them. Maybe it's the reason why you would say Lamar, like of dealing with not a moment of like, oh shit, are they gonna make it? Because like. And like I would say Straight Outta Compton would be number one, then what's it called Jackson 5 would be number two. Like you know what I mean? Like as far as this year, I really like King Richard. But if you're putting next to all the other ones, then it'll probably be lower than that.
So I'm not like I keep saying, I don't think King Richard is a bad movie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
But I wasn't sold. I'm not okay.
Mhm.
So maybe if I didn't know anything about their story for real, I wouldn't have nothing to say. Maybe that's the difference.
I don't think so, because I think you would still know the reality that comes with living where they lived at the time that they did and being who they were at this time, trying to get into this white fort. You would have had something in there and you've been like, well, how come they're not dealing with more? So I think even if you didn't know,
Yeah.
there would have still been that thing like you're like, I'm not buying it. Like this isn't real life. Like this is all fake. So
We're not because it's not like.
Let's move on because I.
I'm not explaining.
No, go ahead.
yeah,
I don't know how to explain it.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like if it's nothing that they needed to add. Like I'm just figuring out like what they could have done differently.
I
to
think
make it
it's just a
more-
matter of the story they were telling.
Mhm.
That's what I think so too. Like I mean,
think
what
they
you're saying is
could've-
correct. I think this got so used to movies like toning it down a lot, not actually showing you the real version. It's kind of like this is what I'm gonna get. But I'm glad that they, you know, I got a little bit of sense, maybe not like the full on thing, but I got a sense of what they had to do, what they had to go through. So when I put it next to other movies, like that's how I look at it, as in if you're telling a certain story, you got to get from point A to point B. You know, then this story was to, I guess, to show you how, what's it called, Venus, because they don't really talk about Serena. That's the one thing I was
The
interested
focus
in.
was Venus. Yeah.
I was interested in how Serena, like I'll say this, when they I felt they skimmed through her practicing with her mom and what she had to go through, not being able to play like her sister did.
Well, that goes back to what you guys were saying. Where it's not about them; it's about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's about him. It's about him, but also I think like it's about him trying to like get his daughter to make it big. But he was going through different coaches, trying to see what they were going through.
Yeah, he was a typical dad too. Like he got a coach. The coach was coaching, but he was still on the sideline, like telling her what to do.
Like,
sit down somewhere. You're not the coach.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Like, if anything, the only thing I would say is that I felt they skimmed over Serena, even though it was the dad's story, but his goal was to get what's it called, Venus going, or his daughter's playing tennis.
Yeah, well, both of them. But then when it called for only being able to do one, it was Venus, and it's probably because she had the more skill. So when you think about it now, like Serena is the name you know. She's the more popular one.
No, she's the more skillful one. She bypassed Venus.
But
yeah.
I mean, but when he chose the daughter to focus on, it was Venus because
Venus is older.
You think that was the only reason?
I think that's the reason, because she's older. It's like I don't think, because in the movie he wrote it down, right? Venus is going to be the star, but then you're going to be the greatest ever. That's what he wrote in his book.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, you start with this one. Your goal is basically, he said, my goal, he had both of their lives written out. So this was his goal for both of them, minus the other stepkids he had living in his house that they don't explain who their parents are and who's the real fathers and mothers. They just bypass that because they're one big happy family in Compton, in poverty, but they're all right.
Yeah.
And they got to move to a big house and go to Disneyland, skip school.
And not playing tournaments, just practice.
Yeah. But fuck the tennis part. They should just focus on like the other fucked up part of the family.
But I did think it was a good movie. I thought it was a great performance by Will Smith, and that's why it's ranked high on my top 5. So
right, it was definitely a good movie. Like I said, I'm not saying it's not a good movie, but I can't ignore what I'm missing.
Yeah. So that's my number 2. So now we're closing up with our number 1. So Josh.
All right. Garfield, Maguire,
Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
Well, you said you had questions.
Was that again?
You said you had questions that weren't answered.
Well, the whole timeline thing, like what exactly
what we talked
when
about.
They get sent back. Yeah, like we talked about it in the last session where I was kind of like, when do they get sent back? Right. Is it in the future? Like those are the ones I had an issue with, and I'm guessing it's when they all die. I mean, not all of them die in the original films. Some of them live, so I'm trying to figure out what part exactly. But that was the only thing I had about the movie that I was kind of like, But the rest of the movie, I really liked.
It made it
And
not
also-
matter that much.
Yeah. It,
Yeah, that was like a minor detail where you like, hold
Yeah.
on, that's what you're thinking too much.
Yeah.
But the movie overall is just a good ass movie.
if I didn't like it for like I said, you got to get me nothing but bullshit. If it was like so, the humor was fucking stupid. I was digging how they were able to like explain how the universe was broken and how they came back, like how they came from each universe. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll roll with it and end up really enjoying it. Now, and there's also the villain where Venom, where I was like, did he get transferred to the MCU while he was in the hotel? Like, because you saw Spider-Man, like that was another issue I kind of had with it, or question I had with it, but not enough to linger on because I enjoyed like all the moments with all three Spider-Mans. Like dope. That's kind of like what sold the movie to me. Them talking, like you're saying, the emotions, you felt it, and I wasn't expecting them to kill off what's it called? Aunt May. Yeah. When they say, "Oh man, Marvel's gonna kill somebody off," like, they're gonna kill a character that everybody knows and likes, but not an important character. Going back to Avengers: Age of Ultron, one of the Avengers is gonna die. It's gonna be Quicksilver because nobody really, he's not really an Avenger. And I was like, that makes sense. So when they kill off Aunt May, I thought they were gonna kill off what's his name, Tony Parker, not Tony Parker, the dude, John Favreau's character. Happy. Yeah, I thought they were gonna kill him off and be like, oh, okay, that's but it wouldn't have worked. Nah,
hey, you know what's funny? Killing off Aunt May. If Tom Holland wouldn't have sold that scene, I wouldn't have gave a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's him selling that scene and him breaking down the way he did that made me care about her dying.
Yeah. No, yeah, because I bought it. Like I said, if it was like let's say a death scene from Dark Knight. Do you remember Tasha? She's all like, journey's complete. Yeah, but it's like, that's in death scenes, it's all about your reaction too. It's like, how do you, like, if you say you takes you out of your movie, you forget this is a movie and feel sorry for this character that just lost his aunt, the only person, like his only parent.
Right.
And I'm guessing Uncle Ben might have died. I don't know. They didn't really talk about that.
It seemed like it was supposed to be like assumed. You know what I mean? Because the way they talked about it was like, you're supposed to assume this is the Spider-Man story. He dies.
So they don't touch on Uncle Ben in the first two?
No.
It's
like, so Aunt May was his Uncle Ben. Like Tobey Maguire had Uncle Ben.
No, so I think he had an Uncle Ben. Okay, because remember they said the quote that she said, and they were like, "Yeah, Uncle Ben." So wait, so were they saying that like she was the equivalent to Uncle Ben?
I think so, because when Tobey Maguire Spider-Man said that, he said my Uncle Ben. His Uncle Ben said the same thing.
Both of them said Uncle Ben said it. Both of them were like
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire said it.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, but in what's it called, Civil War, they seems like they were hinting at it that he had Uncle Ben, but then as time went on, I guess people were just tired of like the whole Uncle Ben getting shot, so they kind of just left it alone.
Aunt May.
Yeah, which is kind of like messed up even more, because where I think about it, at the end, like, since nobody knows who he is, he has no Aunt May, and at least when Uncle Ben got shot, at least Peter Parker had Aunt May to go home to.
Right,
knows him,
and they're killing a black man essentially because Uncle Ben made rice. And he's the black man on the box of rice. So they've killed him twice. And in this one, they're like, fuck Uncle Ben altogether.
Yeah.
What's your number one, Lamar?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so yeah, I'm surprised, actually, Josh. I'm surprised Spider-Man's your number one. I didn't think you liked it.
I'm surprised. Me? Oh, no, I was trying to hide it. So,
okay.
I mean, I guess like the more I thought about it, the more I was like, yeah, I think I did enjoy, and it's probably because I'm biased because I'm a Spider-Man fan, so maybe that's the reason why I liked it over Justice League. But yeah, just having them three on the screen again was really dope, and it worked. Like the action scenes were great. Those moments where they're talking, like they're threes, I always want to have brothers, and we're like talking like,
he's like, I love you. They're like,
yeah. Because like, if you really think about it, like they understand each other because they've been through the same shit. They have the same powers. except for when they're talking about how does it come out of you organically.
That shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the Andrew Garfield ones, and I watched Tom Holland in other movies, but not his Spider-Man movies. So my excitement when Andrew Garfield came out was knowing one who he was, but also the audience members reacting to it, because I had no connection to it because I didn't watch those.
Yeah.
In the theater, they were clapping and shit. They were excited.
They were losing their mind.
They had a loud reaction to Andrew Garfield, but Tobey Maguire. That's why they put Tobey Maguire last. That's the Spider-Man everybody likes. Yeah.
But it's funny because you figure it's gonna happen. Like you hear stuff, and then you see Andrew Garfield come through, and he opens another one. You're like, it's gonna be Tobey Maguire. But the fact that you see him, it's like confirmed that it's him.
The reveal.
It was exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking forward to it. Yeah, because Andrew Garfield, I think he did a great job as Spider-Man. As far as like talking mess with his quips.
I think the problem with Andrew Garfield, his the people he were battling, like that.
Yeah.
That shit with Jamie Foxx's villain. Oh my. The funny thing is, I hated him in Andrew Garfield's movie, but I liked Jamie Foxx in this movie.
Me too. I like how they made him look more like the comic book version, or did a good job instead of him just being blue.
Right.
And, yeah, just the way he looked before he turned blue, I was like, this is too fucking cartoonish.
He was
I know this
terrible.
is based on the comic. Yeah, I was like, wow.
Yeah, see, and then this one, the only villains I knew were Green Goblin and Doc Ock. I didn't know any of the other villains. I was like, who is this dinosaur?
Do you remember you didn't see Spider-Man 3, or do you not remember it?
Oh yeah, Sandman. Yeah. So the Tobey Maguire villains were the only ones I knew.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of. I didn't know. I knew Jamie Foxx was in one of them, but I didn't know what he did or who he was.
It was terrible. He was terrible.
Yeah. No. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is probably one of the worst Spider-Man movies. But like I said, I still like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
The movie.
As far as
the movie just wasn't great.
No. I you know what? Okay, I did like the first Amazing Spider-Man more than Spider-Man Homecoming. I just think it seems like they were trying to be like Dark Knight, like trying to have like a more serious take, a dark version.
And that's what's funny, because that's what made me like it more than Tobey Maguire's. I liked the Andrew Garfield story. The storyline was more serious than Tobey Maguire's. But I like Tobey Maguire better than.
I think Andrew Garfield's the best actor out of all three Spider-Mans, not just as Peter Parker, but I'm talking about like
in general.
As far as
just in general.
Yeah.
I also didn't understand the Gwen Stacy storyline.
Okay. That's pretty fucked up. I'll say this. He's got the most fucked up thing.
That's why he was crying so much in this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay. Do you remember the part where where Tom Holland Spider-Man's trying to capture what's her name, Zendaya's character?
Yeah, and Andrew Garfield stepped in.
So the reason why he was like hella like got emotional because he couldn't save when Stacy died. You heard about that, right?
I heard about it after I watched it the first time. I heard about it and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So when I watched it the second time, of course, I heard about it. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's why he's so emotional.
So it's like if you watch it, it's like I said, it's a whole different take on Spider-Man's story. So it's like more serious shit happens in his.
More dark
compared to Tobey Maguire. But Tobey Maguire is just a better actor, because you got like Pleasantville, you got all these other movies. He's the better actor.
No. Andrew Garfield got Hacksaw Ridge, Social Network, Silenced.
They're on the same.
I was just impressed by those two movies I've seen.
Okay.
I always thought Tobey Maguire was cool. He just never really did too much for me.
None of them better than Pleasantville.
Pleasantville's a classic.
Fucking classic.
Well, that's a good movie, but like I don't think Tobey Maguire's hella like has an outstanding performance in that. He's good. I like the story in Pleasantville, what they talk about when they're talking about like no colors allowed. And they're talking about like white people, no colors. Like
that shit was hilarious.
Was it fire? Cat? Fire.
Where's my dinner? I laughed so hard at that scene unnecessarily. When he got home, was like, "Where's my dinner?" I was like, "Why is this funny as fuck?"
Okay, so Josh's number one is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Lamar, I don't even have to. I already know what it is, so I'll let Josh guess.
All right, give me the hints.
Black cowboys. And black cowgirls.
Posse?
Posse.
Posse? What the fuck is Posse?
Is it Posse or Posse?
Is that the free version? Are you talking about Posse?
Posse,
Oh, it's Posse.
Posse
Yeah,
by
that's
Bob
Posse.
Fosse.
Hey, what's it called?
The Quick and the Dead.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. No,
Posse?
the harder they
Harder they fall.
fall.
The harder they stand.
And that is the best movie of this year. I've watched it 3 times already, and I'm going to watch it again. That movie is fucking fantastic. Fucking fantastic. And the funny thing is, remember I said Judas, I can't watch the ending. And this one, I can't really watch the beginning. I can't really watch the beginning where they kill the mom, because it's like, it's fucked up. You don't expect them to do it, but it happens. So it's like, I kind of don't want to see that. But
Even
the
though
rest
it's
of the movie,
fictional? Well,
yeah, I just don't like seeing black women get shot. But the rest of the movie, fucking incredible. Fucking incredible from mid-beginning to the end.
I figured your top 2 were the movies, but I thought they were going to be switched.
And they both have Lakeith. And he's the standout in both of the fucking movies. And
Yep.
both of them.
Both of them.
That guy is incredible. That guy is the new that guy. I'm waiting for him to get his
More than
his
that,
big
'cause you know his
standout. Huh?
I said more than that guy, because you know his name. But
Yeah. No, I'm saying when I say that guy, you know how it's always that, like Denzel was that guy
Yeah.
at one time. And then Samuel Jackson will always be that guy for me. But this one was Samuel, and not just Samuel, but this time, now Lakeith is that guy. Like he is the guy to make movies, and I'm waiting for him to get his big movie. But this movie, like at any time I can watch this. I'm not gonna fall asleep. I'm gonna watch the whole fucking movie. Just like I felt about The Irishman, which I just watched the other night and almost stayed awake and watched the whole thing.
How many
I
times
just watched it again the other night.
right.
Huh?
How many
many
times
times
have you
you
watched
watched
that
that?
movie now?
That was like the 5th.
Because dude, I struggled with the middle part of the movie. I thought it kind of dragged on.
Which one, The Irishman?
Irishman, yeah. I thought it was just a little bit too long for me.
Oh, I love that shit.
Yeah, but
Lamar likes long movies.
Yeah,
but-
certain
Oh
long
yeah,
movies.
certain long movies.
Not everyone.
The Harder They Fall had that cast too, where it could have went bad.
It could have been a disaster, but they did it perfectly. Like I was shocked at how good they did it. That movie is like fantastic to me. If you're gonna do an all-black cast serious movie, this is the movie. This is the way you do it. It's the way you do it.
Would you call this a serious movie though?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some serious moments, but I think there are some like typical action scenes that are kind of over the top. Yeah.
I wouldn't put it on like the level of a Judas serious.
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
but
No. So that's a different type of. When I say serious, I mean like it's not made. It's not
comical.
Friday.
It's not.
It's
You know
not.
what I mean?
I see.
So when I say serious, I don't mean like, no, this is Malcolm X. Nah, not like
Not
that.
a parody, not a comedy, not
Right.
okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
When you said serious, I was thinking like dramatic, like
Hell no, not like
like Rosewood.
not as much as I,
Yeah.
not as much as I laugh watching this shit.
Yeah,
I laugh too much to be for it to be that serious.
right. Now the Harder They Fall, that was good. That was definitely enjoyable.
That was fantastic. Don't just say it was good. It was fucking fantastic.
It was my number 5, so it was
Right.
good.
Yeah.
My number 1 is fantastic, but like you said, it's not rewatchable.
Puerto Rican Play.
What?
What was that shit called? The Puerto Rican Play movie.
Puerto Rican. In the Heights. You think In the
Yeah.
Heights is my number 1? Just because Lin-Manuel Miranda did it and Hamilton was my favorite last year.
No, she likes Encanto. That's the movie she likes.
I thought you were gonna make up for you fucking up last year and just put it up there just cause.
Not with In the Heights. No, God no. No, my number 1 is your number 2.
For real, Judas?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Judas-
I was like, Tasha, I thought Judas would be on your list. And we haven't
No,
got
that's
to
my
it.
number one. That movie was, I watched it twice. And the only reason I watched it a second time was because we were doing this. And I was trying to
Mhm.
like, watch it the first time to watch it. And then the second time was to get points for our discussion. But it's definitely not something you could just rewatch just because.
Right. You could, but that ending, like I can't do it. That ending, I can't do it.
It's all about, the story and the acting is what makes you watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of the, I'm trying to think of another movie to compare it to where it's like the end is so hard to watch, but it makes the entire movie. Like it closes it out because it's the big thing that happens.
Yeah. A movie like that, that's you'd have to really sit down and think about that.
Especially like a real life movie, real life story type of movie. But like you said, Lakeith is just like so stand out in this movie. Like I like Daniel Kaluuya too. I thought he was good, but Lakeith was Lakeith wasn't nominated. Or
No,
was
No,
he?
no.
No,
Josh
he was.
wasn't.
He
Yeah.
was nominated, but we were like, he's not going to win. Wasn't that the case?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he was not.
He was for best supporting.
But he was, but because him and Daniel Kaluuya were nominated the same category.
Yeah.
I thought Daniel Kaluuya was best.
He was best.
Supporting.
Was it supporting? I have to double check, but I know they were both nominated. But we were like, Lakeith is not going to win because of his antics, like online.
No, so
Yeah.
So I remember Josh explaining it because he said the reason they were both nominated for that is because of what's his name? Chadwick had just died. So it's like they knew they weren't going to win that one.
No, but Daniel Kaluuya, didn't he win? Daniel Kaluuya won.
He won best
won
supporting
Best Supporting.
actor.
No,
and then
because Chadwick was. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
Anthony Hopkins won
Best lead.
best actor. And then
Okay, yeah.
I hear like there's some things that what's his name? What's it called? Keith. What's his name?
Lakeith.
Lakeith, whatever his last name is. Post some things that people don't like. You know, how, like you speak your mind and people get upset.
Yeah, his personality is not favorable to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay,
But to me, I think it should just be on your acting skills, but of course not. Yeah.
So they were, so they were both nominated supporting, and Daniel Kaluuya won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
That's what.
Because when they both got nominated for supporting, then Lakeith posted like, "Then who's the main actor in this movie?" Because he was like, "We both got nominated for this." He was like, "Well, who the fuck is the main actor?" You know what I mean? If we're both supporting, it's like doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. They know what they're doing. That's why I'm kind of like, with the fucking Oscars. I'm not even. Is there any? Wait, isn't the Golden Globe supposed to be on or coming on?
They come out first, so I'm not sure when, but
yeah. I'm not even invested in that. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, because like this year in movies was lackluster. There weren't a lot of great movies this year.
I don't know if I would say that. I could, because name a year where every movie was like a hit.
Well, me speaking personally, as far as like with the top 5, trying to put it together, last year was easier for me than, well, not easier. I had more to choose from than I did this year. Not to say a lot of movies were great last year, but I just feel like this year, for me personally, there wasn't a lot where I was like, oh my God, I thought that movie was so good.
But I think that the times make the movie seem lackluster because this is what we have to look forward to. We can't do shit without, like, we can't really go out like we used to. You know what I mean? Like movies was like a secondary thing, but now it's like this is what we look forward to because there ain't really shit else to do.
Yeah. Did we do a top 5 favorite movies of the year last year?
Yeah.
That's
why I said Hamilton would have been my number 1, but I forgot about it.
Yeah, remember she didn't put it on the list
I
at
forgot
all.
about the movies last year. I gotta check it out again.
But
I know my last year number 1 was Irishman.
I know because Ma Rainey, that was on my list. I don't know if that was my number 1.
Ma Rainey was on my list too.
So, but yeah, so that's our 2021 our favorite movies of the year, top 5. So that's the end of that discussion. So, Happy New Year, everybody.